All right, so joining me here today on Cobra TV, we have the Ranting South African, and of course, the Cobra TV subject contributor, the BookShelfGaming. Yes, I said the subject contributor of Cobra TV. He is actually on the staff. He helps bring up the subjects that we discuss on Cobra TV. He's one of those people I told you a while back that goes around and helps me find out information. Once he finds something, which he is a really good researcher himself, then we both start digging down into it. And today on Cobra TV, we're going to talk about the multiplayer, like I mentioned in a previous video. And I have two people here because I have my own wants and needs from multiplayer out of No Man's Sky, and I know it's a lot different than all of yours. So what I'm hoping, and I haven't talked to them yet, but I'm hoping that they have a different point of view of what they want out of multiplayer than I do. Now, Ranting South African, what from the facts that we have, okay, Sean Murray has said that we can, it's rare, but we can cross paths with other players. So we do know that we are literally sharing the entire universe with other players. But he said that it's so vast that something like that would be actually rare indeed. What are you hoping that would actually mean for multiplayer for you?
Well, you know, I want to first take it back by saying, you know, when I first played a game that had multiplayer in it without me knowing it was Journey. And it was really odd to meet other people without speaking to them or even knowing who they were, but somehow you still worked as a unit, you know, to attain the objective of what you were doing. So I kind of hope that it would have something similar to that, but instead of having it with completely random people, have some sort of a way to set a waypoint to where your friend is, or even to see if a friend of yours discover a planet, it'll pop up on your screen to notify you that a planet has been discovered by your friend, and maybe rendezvous with them there. Something similar to that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that they're going to be adding in. When he said that they're going to be adding a more traditional multiplayer later on down the line after the game comes out, right. Something that he says that they are actually excited about. So right. I don't look at, you know, I'd really hate to see just death matches. You know,
gotcha.
I don't think that's what he means by traditional, and right. I don't think he's talking about turning it into an MMO either. Mm-hmm. But I do think and hope that it's actually just a mechanism to get people together with their friends, because how cool would it be if me, you, and BookShelfGaming, we got together and a bunch of other subscribers and we all explored together?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be great.
Yeah. I mean, not just to form a clan to go bully people, you know, just to enjoy the game the way it was created, just to explore passively.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, and I think also it's that unknown of what the player is going to do when you finally meet them that's going to make it more enjoyable. You can't just approach another ship thinking, oh, he's on the enemy team, I have to shoot him. You kind of have to leave it up to the player how he's going to interact with you. That's going to make it more exciting, I think, in the long run.
Right. And I think being stranded you're traveling and it's been 3 months maybe, and you have never ran into anybody, and then finally you do. You're not going to want to shoot them down. You're going to be like, oh my God, it's an actual live person.
Right.
Right.
And they're going to be having that experience too, so they're not going to want to shoot you down.
Right.
Right.
But I think if he does add like an MMO quality to the game, then I think there will be a lot of DayZ symptoms that are going to come from the game, though.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Just the kind of stuff like people quitting the game when they die. You know, like I tried to play DayZ once, and of course spawn killing is an issue, but that's not going to be an issue in No Man's Sky, obviously.
Nope.
For very obvious reasons.
Right. Yeah, but
yeah, so I ended up quitting DayZ because I was just spawn killed every time that I tried to do something.
Right. You see, I'm the type of multiplayer gamer that I'm sure a lot of my subscribers know that I love the DayZ type environment. I love the cutthroat multiplayer that's open world, and you really have to be careful and watch out for bandits. And I love actually getting bandits together myself, but I don't like to go after the one guy or the two guys. I'm the kind of guy that likes to go after the big groups of other bandits.
Right.
Right.
And that's the kind of gaming that's fun for me. But I know a lot of people out there just like, no, don't do that. Don't let people do that.
Yeah. What I'm kind of hoping from the multiplayer of what he's saying is the more traditional part of it. I'm not going to go too in depth on this, but it's just my original idea that I had of the backup system of like if you need backup in a situation, because that would just make it too easy. Like you could just teleport to your friends and then just be there forever. But like with the original system that I was thinking about, like maybe they could come to you and then after you don't need them anymore, then they get transported somehow back to where they were before. It's all kind of a broad topic that I'm not really going to go into right now, but it's just a little idea that I had.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that you would like if I was able to invite you, but you'd want to go back.
Yeah, I would definitely want to go back because it also could be a thing like that too, because then it would make people less inclined to actually do the backup work that their friend needs because they don't want to lose the solar system that they're in. But then also, that would be a far too easy way to find someone. So in that sense, I think that after the person doesn't need you anymore, it should just bring you back to where you were previously. But I don't really know how it would work. It was just a small idea that I had that I don't really think is going to go anywhere.
Well,
but it might. You know, it might.
I don't know. I agree, but I disagree with you. I think that there should be consequence to that. I think if I invite you to where I'm at, you have to make that decision. Like if I go, I will never be able to return.
Right. That is a thing that I said. Like
yeah.
As far as the multiplayer itself goes, you know, the more traditional stuff where you can like hook up with people and explore together, I like that. But I also kind of like the loneliness of it's just you and you have to kind of start from the bottom and you have a really crappy, ship and you have to go and explore. I mean, it would be fun to do it with other people, but at the same time, the whole method where you randomly, might meet a random stranger and he might help you or not, I think that's kind of like, that's more alluring for me right now. I feel like it's more refreshing as far as gameplay goes, but at the same time, there is a business of them doing something where you can go out with your friends also, what I would like to see. So it's a really difficult subject for me, because I have my own hopes and dreams for the game, but I'm sure we will all be surpassed with what we expected the day when we actually received the disc in hand. So
right
I'm sure it'll be an awesome experience regardless. I feel like this has not been done in video games.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
As he said, everybody has their own hopes and dreams, and some people's hopes and dreams are to be alone in the universe. Is like, I know a lot of people who I talk to, and they're like, oh, I don't really like this concept of having any multiplayer, as in, like, if when the game does come out, then they're just gonna isolate themselves from people. Like, if they find someone, maybe those will be the kind of people who aren't going to be excited about it. They're going to want to shoot down that person because they want to be all alone. But
right,
it's really one of those things that we'll have to wait for it.
And some of the commenters on that video, there's one by the name of Simon Scott, says, yeah, need something that is fun but can't be fucked up by the fuckwits. It should have a good reward system. I like the GWD PvP system. I think cosmetic and titles are much better than gear. World of Warcraft PvP, skill over gear is the way to go. don't know. I don't understand the end of that, but I think I understand what he's trying to say. And I think I read something somewhere where Sean Murray was saying something about not an actual reward system, but wanted to make it to where he didn't want to control us so that the DayZ thing didn't happen. He wanted to find a way to make us work together instead of shoot each other.
Right.
I think that's a good way to go. I mean, if it's going to have a simulated universe, I think we should be able to shoot each other if we choose to. But I think that there has to be that human emotion, that human decision to not shoot each other.
Right.
John Howe says, I want to see massive, endless battles that are kind of like Star Wars Battlefront, but much bigger. And one battle seamlessly goes from ground to air to space. I also really like your idea of a place where all players can get together. Now, can you imagine games like PlanetSide 2, Battlefront? You know, we have an actual universe with real planet-sized planets. So, if we ever could band together and all congregate on one planet, you can imagine like an all-out world war.
Right.
Yeah.
You could all just go at it on that one planet, and you could completely like decimate life on that planet in the process. It would be crazy.
Yeah, it'd be pretty intense, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Some of these are pretty off topic, but they're pretty cool. I'd like a robot companion pet or some sort in the game that could die, and once it's dead for good. That would make the game more emotional as they want the game to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty cool little idea, and that came from Cliffhanger.
That could work in some aspect, I guess. I don't really know what it would do rather than just follow you around, but that is a good thought. It really is.
Yeah. Oswald Gruppen. He commented, I would myself like if the multiplayer was a timed event, like a massive space battle between AI and players. So he's talking about PvE. I just want friendly co-op in this game. Given the option to travel to the event, after the event, the option to go back or stay. And if you stay, you can still use the travel back option one time. But if a new event opens, your black hole or gate or port will reset to your present galaxy.
Right. That kind of ties into what I was saying before, with the whole backup system. But yeah, so it kind of does tie into that. So I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one thinking about this kind of stuff.
Right. So he's looking along the lines of a PvE type experience, sort of like Warframe, where you're just fighting against the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that being something that'll pique my interest. You know, for the person out there that's maybe not really interested in that aspect, at least they're giving the opportunity to join in on a community battle where he doesn't have to worry about, you know, X person shooting him down. He has to worry about the AI and defeating the AI. I mean, that's a really cool idea, and also giving you the option to travel back. I think that's a really cool thing too. And if you want to hang out and maybe, you know, group up with people after the battle and follow them around and explore with them, I think that'll definitely enhance the community aspect of the game, of feeling like you're part of a unit. So that's a pretty cool concept. I haven't really thought about it that way.
Yeah, I think that something like that should come after, you know how games have sequels. I think this game should at least run for a year, with the rare occasion of coming into somebody before they add the multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah. And I just think, you know, just because it's going to be such a cool experience running into someone after 3 months of playing, you know. And I think that traditional multiplayer, like Oswald said, with the PvE, that'd be good for like an update for No Man's Sky .2.
Right.
Another YouTuber name, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Arshdeep Gill. This is kind of a multiplayer comment. Maybe have massive transport ships that multiple players can walk around in, and there can be a main pilot, and the players inside can also get to the fighters and launch out of the ship to help defend it. Or maybe some players can man guns, Also think if there should factions and corporations, so maybe one day there'd be a massive galactic war between two factions like EVE Online, where there has been legendary space battles with thousands of players. I also don't want ships to just blow up in midair. If shot, I want there to be wreckage, and I also want to see the ship breaking apart as you fire at it. So that's, what I found out with a lot of the commenters, a lot of people do want the massive space armies, the massive gathering.
Right.
But there's also that other vast majority of people who really don't. I'm definitely not one of them, but they do exist.
I feel like maybe people are kind of not completely understanding and I don't want to sound like a cliche here, but I'm sure, at Hello Games they have a vision for the game, not being an average multiplayer shoot 'em up game. It's about the user experience, and I feel like a lot of people are depending solely on a game to have that multiplayer aspect where it's not really their fault. That's all they're used to. That's all they've been playing for years and years. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I also play multiplayer games, but given the opportunity of doing something different, but still having that, slight chance of running into a friend of yours, or maybe even running into someone that you've never spoken to and becoming an ally of him, is more alluring to me than having this, massively organized thing. Then it just feels like another generic, multiplayer game that I'm playing.
Right.
And I don't want to sound like I'm dogging on anyone or shooting the idea down. It'll be awesome to fly into a massive space battle and either having the opportunity to fly around it or engage. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I think that's just how I see it, man.
What I've noticed is that the whole multiplayer, it's divided into these bunch of groups, and I think, all right, say me, you, and Bookshelf Gaming, and 500 other people. Let's say we were able to get together and form this big army. Guess what? We're not going to run into anybody, because we did that on purpose with each other. We all communicated, we said where we were, we got together, and now we're just going to travel through space. Well, now we still have to follow that same rule that Sean Murray said. Running into somebody at random is rare and highly unlikely. So all those people out there that don't like the banding together have nothing to worry with our group. We'll never run into them. We'll never find them. And the only way we're going to run into somebody is if someone on YouTube's bragging about how they have a big army and they want to take on another army. And then we'll respond saying, where you at? We'll take you out. But all the regular gamers, they have nothing to worry about so far. With what Sean said, so far there's nothing to worry about. Legacy Zero also made a good point, and this is something that maybe Sean Murray might be talking about with the traditional multiplayer. I would like for multiplayer to maybe have just one solar system with lots of planets, with its own economy, space stations, etc. Basically what Destiny should have been on a much bigger scale. I don't mind the DayZ experience as long as the hacking isn't a factor at all. But how cool would it be to make your own base on some planet in some solar system in the middle of nowhere where you think nobody can find you, to your and to your spoils? Maybe some kind of war happening in the solar system, kind of like PlanetSide 2. So what I think he's trying to say is, if there is a traditional multiplayer, let's say that Sean Murray says the solar system 123, we'll just name it, is a multiplayer area, and you can just transport there. You can't transport to anywhere else in the universe, but just to that solar system, and you can hang out there for as long as you want. You could go down into a planet, they're real size planets, and just hide out in a cave, and no one's going to run into you because it's a real size planet. But if you wanted, you could get in your ship, go out into space, and get into a dogfight, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people in that solar system. So that's a really good idea too.
And I also like the thing, it's not the first time I've heard it, but when he said basically what Destiny should have been. I mean, I'm not knocking on Destiny or anything, but really, when they first announced Destiny and what they were saying that it was going to be, is not what we really got. They said what they originally made it sound like was what No Man's Sky is going to be, as far as we know. And it's not the first time I've heard that either, because I have a friend and he says it all the time. I told him to check out your videos one time, and he was like, "Oh, that game looks like what I think Destiny should have been."
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, exactly." So, yeah, that's a good point there.
Yeah, I knew right away Destiny, or not right away, but the point where they said you can't drive your own spaceship.
Yeah.
That it was just an automatic delivery cut screen. Then I just stopped paying attention to the game entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the first things that, you know, when they told you about like how expansive this world was going to be in No Man's Sky, and the fact that you can actually fly into the atmosphere and out of the atmosphere into space. That really, I would have loved to have seen that in Destiny. You know, I feel like they could have done a lot more with that. But regardless, this game, you know, No Man's Sky for me is definitely going to be one of those rare games that really, you know, try and push the boundaries of how people will interact with one another. And I like the comment that you just read before of having a separate solar system, you know, with its own planets and stuff that you can go in, and there's other people in there. I like that idea. I feel like it'd be cool if you do decide to go there and you don't know if there's other people on your side of the planet where you want to go and kind of have up your own little like camp or whatever. You don't know whether they're hostile or not. So
right.
I like that whole unpredictability of the game.
Yeah, that's very good comment. And real quick, I want to take a call from really don't know his name yet. He runs a No Man's Sky group on Facebook that I just came across, and oddly enough, there had been people posting my videos to that group.
Hello.
Hello, Creative Gaming. How are you, buddy?
I'm alright, pal. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm here with the Ranting SouthAfrican and BookShelfGaming.
Your voice is crazy, man.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Like,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. It's proper mad that your voice is so proper weird, man. Like, it's crazy.
Hey, it drives the women crazy.
No, like, you got like a proper fucking movie voice, man. It's like proper crazy stuff. 1 minute, can I just put my mic in? Because you're coming through my TV at the minute. I'm just going to slap an headset in.
Sure.
By the way, I dig the British accent.
So you guessed. Cheers, dude. I'm like proper fucking. It's mad listening to your lot voices.
All right, so do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Go ahead and plug it. Tell us what it is.
It's CreativityGaming, man. I haven't really done anything on it. Well, I have. It was all GTA, but it's like a test channel. You know, I don't know what to do with it yet. Definitely going to be doing No Man's Sky videos once I'm back. But I had to leave due to college and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
You have a Facebook group for the No Man's Sky, don't you?
Yeah. It's nothing really
I'm going to
special.
post a link to that down below and see if we can get some people to join that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. If you could build up a massive community, it'd be like just sharing ideas and stuff. It'd be just really good.
Definitely.
I mean, obviously, if we get it active and stuff like that, and obviously, like the other guy said, as soon as people are aware of this game, that's when places are going to blow up, especially YouTube's going to blow up. No Man's Sky is going to be all over YouTube, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, we will work on getting people to that Facebook group.
Yeah, man, I'll send everyone I can to this, you know, Cobra TV.
Yeah, spread the Cobra love, buddy.
Yeah, I will do.
All right, man. It's wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, guys. See you later.
Hey, bro.
That's it.
So from this awesome podcast that we had, I've learned that there is a many number of possibilities out there that the multiplayer can and probably will be. And that excites me because I know a lot of you, my subscribers, anybody who views my videos, a lot of you have different wants and needs out of the multiplayer for No Man's Sky. and I cherish every single one of your opinions. If this video was too long, do not be afraid to let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned, we have some really exciting things coming to this channel in the very near future. Until next time.